Welcome back, fellow kaiju enthusiasts, to Tales of Epix. Today, we'll journey through each cinematic masterpiece and unravel the towering mystery behind Godzilla's ever-changing height. Kicking things off was the original Toho Godzilla as seen in 1954's Godzilla. This particular iteration of the giant lizard clocked in at 164 feet, not necessarily towering over buildings, but still a threat to humanity's concrete jungle nonetheless. This version of the character appeared in 15 total movies between 1954 to 1975, making him the Godzilla with the most total film credits to his name.
Monsters, incredible titan of terror, wiping out a city of 6 million in a holocaust of flame.
Following 1975's Terror of Mechagodzilla, Toho gave Godzilla a breather after more than 20 years of box office domination, at least in his home nation of Japan. But as most G fans know, one can only keep the scaly kaiju down for so long. In 1984, he would return to theaters with a new redesign that upped the size factor, bringing the movie monster up to 262 feet. This take on the towering titan only lasted for 2 movies before getting sized up again, appearing in 1984's Return of Godzilla and 1989's Godzilla vs. Biollante. After getting a glow-up heading into the 80s, Godzilla left the decade getting yet another monstrous makeover. This time, as Toho entered the 1990s, the movie studio bumped up the size factor yet again for the king of the monsters. This new version of the character would be the biggest yet, and the largest fans would see for some time, measuring at 328 feet. Godzilla would remain this size for much of the 90s. For the first Western take on Godzilla in 1998's aptly titled film, the creative team shrunk Toho's tail-whipping titan down to a size not seen since his comeback in 1984. The 98 version measured a measly 229 feet, standing not even a sixth of the size of New York's Empire State Building. The movie was met with widespread critical disdain, and the 98 version of the Kaiju was never seen again. Ringing in the new millennium, Toho debuted yet another new version of Godzilla for Japanese audiences, scaling him down to 180 feet. This would be the shortest the scaly superstar had been since his original 15-film run from 1954 to 1975. The 180-foot Godzilla would stand tall for 4 movies from 1999 to 2003. The lone exception to Godzilla's 180-foot reign in the early 2000s was the character's appearance in Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, giant monsters all-out attack. In this 2001 monster mashup, Godzilla would be scaled up a tad to 196 feet. After being shrunk down to a figure so close to his 1954 original appearance, Godzilla was beefed back up to his previous record-setting mark of 328 feet for 2004's Godzilla: Final Wars. After the disaster that was Godzilla, 1998, Western studios stayed away from the character for nearly 20 years, afraid another kaiju-sized mishap may befall anyone who was to tackle it. That was until Star Wars Rogue One filmmaker Gareth Edwards got his hands on the property, kicking off Legendary's Monsterverse with 2014's Godzilla. The film would feature a new, more traditional take on the beloved movie monster, setting a new high watermark for the character's sheer size. This new American version of Godzilla would be the tallest yet at 354 feet. Serving as Toho's first Japanese Godzilla release in over a decade, Shin Godzilla hit theaters in 2016. After the response to Legendary's Godzilla movie, Toho knew it had to make a change to its iconic character, giving him a 2010 makeover and setting the record yet again for the biggest version of Lizzie seen on screen yet. Shin Godzilla went all out with this Godzilla redesign, bringing the character up to 388 feet, leaning into just how powerful the kaiju can be on the big screen. Following his appearance in 2014's Godzilla, the Monsterverse continues with a slightly taller Godzilla. Coming in at 394 feet, this supersized kaiju stood 40 feet taller than his 2014 form. The 394-foot version of Godzilla is Legendary's current take on the character, appearing in 2019's Godzilla: King of Monsters, 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong, and 2024's Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. Last but certainly not least is the only iteration of Godzilla to have ever won an Academy Award. Godzilla -1 saw the giant monster brought down to earth a bit, as Toho yet again went back to basics with its movie monstrosity. So, that's a wrap, folks. From towering titans to grounded giants, Godzilla's size has shifted with each epic tale. Which version gets your heart racing? Share your favorite in the comments below. and subscribe for more thrilling cinematic adventures.